Indonesia, they just need to tell themselves, look, guys, we did it again in game number 1. We did it once, rather, and then we can do it again in game number 2, if that even is going to be needed, depending on how things kick off. Now, though, tip-off goes in favor of Philippines, and a quick three-pointer pull-up to get just a little tasting of the net and see how it acts in this game number 3, but instead, it is going to be now Indonesia with the possession. 𝐸𝐸𝐺𝐸 is going to be stopped on the three-point line. Over to Vertinho and back to 𝐸𝐸𝐺𝐸 to open up with a beautiful slam dunk and a 2-0 start for Indonesia.
Let's see what they go ahead and respond back with on the Philippine side with the blue jerseys on. Trying to get a pick set up a little bit early. See if it goes ahead and hits. Kind of, but not quite. Doesn't have the spacing that he kind of wanted. Gets it out to the left. Trying to post him up. Nice little move there. Drop step in a minute for tying it up.
And these are the plays you really need to see more of from Philippines players when it comes to getting close to the net, right? Like sometimes 𝐸𝐸𝐺𝐸 can just basically box you out and you can't really do much. And having that versatility in your move set really helps you in the scoring department. Having said that, though, Vertinho looking to see if he can return the favor. Not going to be successful. Those just so slightly short.
Just got enough of a bump there to adjust to the shot. Wasn't quite there. Ice too fast. Top of the key. Has a cut there. Great call. Great dunk. Execution was perfect. The defender was playing up a little too much, and he fell asleep, and the center was up trying to guard the pick, too, so he wasn't able to get the steal either. 6-2, Philippines on top early here in this game number 3 in the grand finals of the Asia region.
And a beautiful pass from Vertinho as well. Nice and deep over to 𝐶𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐢. 𝐶𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐢 gives it back out to Vertinho. Lino now on the three-point line. 5 seconds on the clock. High elbow shot. Not going to go through. 𝐸𝐸𝐺𝐸, though, once again, there with the offensive rebound. Timeout called. And 14 seconds on the clock to work with for Indonesia.
Oh, that one's going to get turned over. They're looking to go the other way. Philippines now looking to build on this lead. 6-2. Looking for a little bit of constructed offense there as they're trying to pick their spots. You can see how many cuts they call, and that leaves wide open space. It's kind of like if you watch American football, you try to run the ball so you can open up the passing game. That's what they're doing. They're calling all these cuts, so the defense is focused so much on the cuts that they're able to get the wide open threes.
Yeah, that turnover must sting for Indonesia. These are the small mistakes that you make that can have devastating consequences and have had now in the past, in the previous game. Lino, though, with a three-pointer of his own, takes it upon his shoulders to bring it back closer. Now down only by 4 points is Indonesia, as Philippines are looking to set up another offensive play. Don Preach kind of going for a screen setup, but seems to miss the timing of that. Never mind me. It's Miguel Carlo with a huge three-pointer, and valid applause indeed from the supporting staff.
See how much more of that he's got in his bag to secure this game number 3. That's going to be a quick foul. Tried to go for the steal. Ref didn't like it.
Those refs.
I know, aren't they?
Always spoiling the fun. 𝐒𝐿𝐵 tries to put the ball back into play, but again, it's Philippines with the steal off the bat. Miguel Carlo from the left-hand side corner, back-to-back three-pointers. Yeah, that is deserved. Players standing up, applause, pats on the shoulder, everything. Philippines is riding the wave, riding the momentum, and running away with this one as they obtain a 10-point leaking strong. Don't tell me 𝐒𝐿 is going to steal another ball here. I'm going to lose it!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my God, that is illegal. Call the police.
I mean, I was gonna applaud them for calling a timeout and coming out of it to slow down things and just relax a little bit, but then they just turn it over. It's not looking pretty.
No, Vertinho with the pump fake though.
Almost
and another one.
Almost got another steal down low in the paint.
Yeah, that's a scary sight to behold. That is absolutely a problem that needs to be patched if you are Indonesia. Miguel Carlo tries to pull up a three-pointer. That had a bit of a wishful thinking note on top of that, so slightly short. Vertinho, though, looking to respond if he can. 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐸 holds onto the ball, looking for a fast, sharp pass, but gives it over to Lino. Vertinho, that might be a zealous attempt. Instead, hand it over to 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐸 to knock it down with the 2. And these 2-pointers now is the name of the game for Indonesia. We've been repeating this several times, but when you are down by so much, you have to start securing those 100% guaranteed shots. And having said that, though, you can't leave ice open.
No, not at all. The defense gets back there for Indonesia, though. Got to continue playing 5 seconds of solid defense. Can't give up an offensive rebound either. And that's what they do.
Yeah, well, Don Preach able to recover that rebound. 𝐒𝐿 this time around is the one to secure it. And, you know, I love the attempt from Miguel Carlo to try just go for that third back-to-back three-pointer from left-hand side corner. That would have been just adding insult to injury at that point.
Yeah, that just gets tough, man, especially with the score the way that it is. You need some things to go your way. You need some bounces to go your way. You need some contests to go your way if you're Indonesia.
Yeah, but you know, when it comes to the nitty-gritty and really this game 3 in the grand finals, you know, every tool that you can utilize has to be used. So if you can get under the skin of your opponent and it plays in your favor, hey man, you're free to do so, because that's exactly what's going to happen in that in Philippines, in that LAN environment. You know, as we spoke in the very beginning of the show, having the opportunity to look your opponent in the eyes after making crazy plays like Miguel Carlo does.
It's going to be a quick little foul. That's the one to give, so no free throws at the line just yet.
Just a few seconds remaining. Social finds himself wide open. They want to finish off with a three-pointer. Ice pulls up for one. It's not going to be long enough, and we jump straight into the second quarter. Indonesia trailing by 11 now. At least they have been able to keep that in check, and the distance hasn't grown too much for now. 𝐵𝐷𝐼𝐻, that is a nice attempt at the 2, but not going to be good enough, and it might be now the moment in time where nerves start to really play a role in how this game pans out.
Yeah, you can just see from the body language, at least from the Indonesia cam that we have, it's just, it doesn't look too optimistic. Obviously, they're communicating. You can see the lips movement, trying to communicate on the defensive side of rotations, but it just has not worked out, and that's demoralizing for them, especially after the momentum they had after winning game number 1.
Absolutely. 𝐵𝐷𝐼𝐻, Lino, over the back of his teammate, unsuccessful. There really was no contest on that. They have to make those count, and it's been quite a while since Indonesia has had the chance to celebrate the scoreboard changing.
They get a nice little block there, but it's one of those things where, like, you want to celebrate the block, but it's also like, there's a big deficit to come back from here. And keep in mind, it was 15-5 when that first timeout was called. Then from the inbound play after that timeout, it was stolen away, and they knocked down a 3. Just not the best way to handle these type of games at the moment.
Well, given how things are going, you know, this might just be the lowest scoring game between the two. And rightly so. You know, every single possession is challenged. And every single defensive play is also being challenged by the offense. So Miguel Carlo trying to find some sort of upper hand here, and finds it in the form of Ice with that cut in play. 25-9 now, extending the lead to 16 points. One of the biggest we've had between the two.
That right corner has got to go ahead and help out a lot more on those cuts. Matter of fact, all the corners I feel like have to, as these cuts are happening more often than not in this one, and then maybe say the first game. There's a wrap. Switching things up a little bit. Confuse the defense. Can't get it to go.
Yeah, nice dribble work from Miguel Carlo still to make the opportunity for himself, to put himself in that position to score. 𝐵𝐷𝐼𝐻 opts in to take the shot, and it misses again. Indonesia now playing a risky game of going for these long shots as the lead continues to grow. Slowly, yes, but still, nonetheless, the Social finds him open to the net, passes back out to Miguel Carlo on the three-point line, and it's 𝐒𝐿 to take the shot. And as you said, you know, those corners are really coming to get you.
Looking to come back in this one. It's going to be so tough. And this is typically when I'm like, oh, take the 2s, don't take the 3s. But I feel like you got to go ahead and force some 3s. But Philippines know that as well, so they might be playing the perimeter a bit more.
Absolutely. 𝐵𝐷𝐼𝐻 tries to go for the 3. Finally, some sort of sigh of relief for Indonesia as they're being able to score what feels like, well, rather haven't been able to score what feels like a couple of minutes now. Coming back to it, though, Philippines on the offensive. Don Preach holding on to it. Ice too fast, pump fakes it. Don Preach there with the screen setup. The ball has to be passed. 8 seconds on the clock. Miguel Carlo with a wide open three-pointer, and it is a clean shot. Amazing stuff from Philippines in the third game. I mean, they have, well, first and foremost, been challenged. Second, overcome their challenge in the second match. And now they're looking to close it out in a grandiose fashion if they can, as the net simply is avoiding Indonesia's thrown ball so far. Miguel Carlo once again finds Social wide open under the net. And it is a 20-point game between the two. It cannot be overstated what Philippines has been able to do here and what sort of resilience they have shown. Now, having said all that, Indonesia needs to dig deep in this one as they do get the 2, but that is not going to be enough to turn this one around. We need more steals, more interceptions, more turnovers before the tides will change. As I say that, though, Miguel Carlo still holding on to the ball. Screen set up for him. A contested three-pointer. That's not going to be good enough. But, of course, Don Preach is there. 𝐸𝐿𝐴, though, makes up for it and gets the ball back into his favor.
You just know it's not your day when even the bailout passes are not going in your favor.
Yeah, man, this is becoming rough fast. Okay, fair enough. From 20 back to plus 15 for Philippines. So Indonesia has been able to score a few times, though. Heading into this second half, they really want to think about what kind of advice they want to share along the way between the players and what plays they need to make, because this is definitely not the play to leave Don Preach open like that.
We do have Miguel that has just as many points as Indonesia, so you know that that's the kind of offensive output impact he's had on this one. They almost go ahead and lose the ball. Indonesia gets it back.
And 𝐒𝐿𝐴 so eager to go for another steal. You can see him working around 𝐷 to get to the ball. Personal foul called. 14 seconds on the clock, 16 overall in the second quarter. But so far, this definitely has been Philippines' game in control from the get-go.
Oh.
Well, at least Lino makes it count, you know? Like, it looked for a second that the ball is even going to leave the hoop. There, Ice has a chance to have the final saying before halftime, but doesn't make it count. And as you said, you know, like 17 points to a single player's name, almost the amount that Indonesia currently is holding. That pretty much says everything about this first half. Now, Indonesia, do they have it in them to come back into this? They're not out yet.
It's just tough, man, especially if you're not able to kind of look. You've got to play the perfect second half, right? And it starts here in the third quarter. You got to go ahead and get some buckets. I don't care if it's a 3 or otherwise. You got to get some type of bucket here, get a couple of stops, and just string to, you know, maybe don't turn the ball over. That would help as well. But quick little foul there to slow things down. 34-19 in this one. Look at. I definitely know I'm going to go and try to get some Krabby Patties after this one.
Yeah.
Maybe the Philippines are as well. It's a celebrate. Who knows, right? I don't know what tradition they've got cooking.
Absolutely.
But here we go.
But look, Indonesia have an opportunity to start fresh here.
Oh,
a good attempt, but not going to be good enough. Don Preach, of course, with the rebound defensively this time, though. Miguel Carlo, very sharp pass over to the corner. Straight into the hands of 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Don Preach comes in with the screen play. Miguel Carlo tries to play around the 𝐒𝐿𝐴, though, picks up the slack and has Ice available if needed. 4 seconds to take the shot. And Philippines, do they want to just make sure they make the shot, or are they playing with their food?
Well, I mean, to me, what I love is the fact that, like, these guards, right, there's no just, like, a spot-up shooter. Like, both of these guards on the Indonesia side, excuse me, on the Philippine side, they're able to create their own shot. They're able to create their own space, get the buckets on themselves as well. They're not relying on just, say, fast break opportunities or just spot-up shooting or just off-ball screens. They're able to have multiple ways, very diversified on their offensive attack, and that's one of the reasons that they've had such a blowout win in game number 2. And also here, so far, it's looking like the same result in game number 3.
Looking good for Philippines, but remember, Viewers and players don't start to celebrate before the final buzzer beats. And as I say that, though, 𝐒𝐿 adds another 2 to the tally of Philippines. And a timeout called by 𝐒𝐿𝐥𝐰. And you know what? Timeout call, but I don't see any... Well, at least I don't see a lot of words being shared.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know... Yeah. It's tough.
Hey, perhaps
It's
someone
tough
else was on the mic. We don't know. We don't know.
Hope so.
Nonetheless, Martinho together with 𝐑𝐨𝐨𝐦 looking to see if they can somehow find an opportunity. 𝐑𝐨𝐨𝐦 just has to go for it. Come on, man. You're bigger than social.
They're going to catch the 3 in the key, though, and you can see the Philippines celebrating, looking at the camera, pointing at the camera as well. They know that they're on stream.
I mean, the Philippines casters must be loving this.
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
They have to be going wild.
Who doesn't love a
point.
good comeback story?
Exactly. Social barely manages to keep the ball back in play. 4 seconds on the clock. Fast pass over to him again. Has to go and take the shot. Oh, my God. If that would have gone through, I mean, another one of those where I would lose my mind. And as I say that, though, 𝐶𝐻𝐬𝐫𝐤 on the free throw line. Does get a point.
Up the score.
Yeah.
Oh my.
There's really no other way how to present the numbers and what is happening so far in game number 3, grand finals. Indonesia might just not have had enough fuel in the tank for this one. And as I say that, that's a far 2-pointer to put up. Hold up. If they can start building on the back of this, there is still a way back in. There's definitely time for it.
Yeah, you got to cut the deficit down to, say, 10 points by the end of this quarter, right? So you're currently down 18. You got to string together a couple of buckets, maybe get it down to, like, say, 11 or 10 points. But the way it looks of it, it's just going to be very tough to do it. They're not able to get the stops. The guards on Philippines are just too good and can create their own shots.
Martinho holding on to it. Looks like wants to make a play himself, and rightly so. Beautiful 2-pointer from him. Now, at least on back-to-back offensive plays for Indonesia, they've been able to score, and that was a problem for a very long time. So this is positive signs so far for Indonesia to try and come back into this. Not unless, of course, Miguel Carlos with 𝐒𝐿 together have something to say, as 𝐒𝐿 with the cut play will score another 2.
They just continue to pile it on this one, and that's going to be a quick foul. Miguel, 19 points, 7 dimes, 3 away from a double-double. Don't believe anyone else on the Philippines is at a double-double just yet.
𝐶𝐻𝐬𝐫𝐤, very nice 3-pointer from the corner, and definitely something that Indonesia was looking for a very long time. Having said that, though, they have to continue the trend of making each possession end on a positive note for them if they want to come back into this. Don Preach holding on, running down the clock, 45 seconds remaining. This is exactly what Indonesia needs. Passed over to Lino instead of securing the points.
Well, I will say, man, at this point, though, like you're trying to secure 3s, right? This is where it's like, all right, look, 2s are cool. They might look the scoreboard look better, but 3s is what you need, period. Stops and 3s. That's the formula now if you're Indonesia.
𝐒𝐿𝐥𝐻 has found a lot of success with early steals beforehand. Not so much in this game. If you could throw in a few of those, it might do miracles for your team. Miguel Carlo finds himself wide open to the net. You know, he's not missing those opportunities. 47-29. As Indonesia still trailing by 28 at this stage. Sorry, not 28, 18. There we go. My math was completely off.
That's quite all right. We've been broadcasting for, a little bit of time now. Miguel. See, now they're just trying to eat up the clock, obviously, not just because of the lead, but because of the third quarter. There's like maybe 0.5 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. They're looking to eat up as much as possible.
And Social even this opts in to pass it back out. Don Preach asking for a pass, but instead it's Ice to take the shot. 𝐒𝐿 to catch the rebound, and that is going to be the end of third quarter. Claps galore for Philippines supporters, whereas Indonesia, You need to dig deep, and you need to start now. 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock to do so.
See what they're able to do here. Using a pick play, calls a cut. Defense is there, but just at a side angle, maybe not in front to where you really want to be if you're going to try to get that contest.
Screen set up for 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐻, finds himself open to go for the play. And of course, he uses that. Takes us down to 18.
Now you're getting double team. You're trying to get the ball across. We've seen that play a couple of times where it does get stolen away by Indonesia.
First team foul.
Yeah, and expect to see quite a few of these reach-in fouls from Indonesia. It's backs against the wall for them, so really nothing to lose by going for these early steal attempts. Miguel Carlo pressuring, rather being pressured by Lino as much as possible. Lino doesn't opt in to go for the reach-in just yet. Wants to see if he can go for a clean steal, but Miguel Carlo again finds himself open. The man is an absolute legend right now.
Way to go ahead and use the pick. Thought he was going in one direction, fooled the defense, went to the left side, hit the open shot. And that deficit that we talked about is right above 20 points once again.
𝐸𝐻𝐻𝐸 even tries to go for a three-pointer at this stage as the clock shows 3.5 minutes still remaining in the fourth quarter. This is time ticking out for Indonesia, and the longer it goes, the closer it gets to the very end, the longer these plays are going to be from Philippines. They're just going to run down the clock as much as possible, not leave anything up for chance. Ice too fast, even gets a 3-second. Oh, they didn't get the shot clock violation. I'm sorry. 𝐒𝐿𝐵, though, tries to go for a three-pointer of his own, and unfortunately that doesn't pan out as he hoped for.
Just tough. Just tough. You get those open looks. Look, now, it's definitely a bit out of reach. There's not much that they can do, but just kind of by the name of the game where they just were communicating not as effectively as you would like. So they had a lot of turnovers on the offensive end, some defensive breakdown as well. Just a perfect storm. And of course, when you got a team like the Philippines who have a lot of trust, who've been playing for so long, it makes it very tough for them to be beaten.
Yeah, it feels like with each consecutive games, Philippines just keeps amping up the pace, and the scoreline says so as well. The first one was close. The second one had a noticeable gap, and in this one, well, it's not a blowout just yet, but Philippines are amping up the pace surely. It's getting there, right? They're working towards it.
Especially with about 2 minutes left to go in this one. Looking to set a couple of picks, looking to set a screen, but of course you see Miguel just looking to milk the clock more than anything.
I mean, you have to go for a steal in a situation like this, no? You can't just allow Miguel Carlo to just stand there and dribble in your face.
If you're the 3, the 4, you got to go ahead and get as many plucks as you can. If they result in fouls, so be it. This is your win or go home in the first place anyway.
Exactly. 𝐒𝐿𝐵, though, with the intercept over to Miguel Carlo. Don Preach is there for the rebound if needed. Instead, it's going to be him to score the points. 56-34 now. Minute 40 on the clock. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐸 starts to feel desperate. And the tension is palpable on the lines of Indonesia as 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐸 goes for the three-pointer. It's green.
Number 79.
𝐒𝐿𝐵 says more like 10 more of those, please.
Yeah, and like real quick too. Okay, there we go. There's 9. Gotta knock it down though.
Had a chance. Went for the pump fake. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐸 isn't wide open. Instead, it's 𝐒𝐿𝐵 to put up another one. 16.
Just like we saw in game number 2 of round 3. So not the qualifiers, but just too little too late from Indonesia. Since they dropped that game 2, it just wasn't in their favor anymore. Philippines is just too tough to beat, especially when they know that they could win and be in their home court.
And look at Miguel, just so cheeky, just standing there. He's like, I dare you to go for a reach, and he's just gonna dribble past him. A nice sneaky pass over to Ice as well. If you're not fast enough, you can't keep up with the ball. Violation. That is a defensive 3-second violation. You can't give opportunities like this to Philippines. What is going on?
Oh boy.
Well, that is a sign of endurance, resilience, tenacity, and on top of all things, experience, as Philippines looks like are going to be securing themselves to just, instead of a plane ticket, getting a bus ticket to their local arena on the 11th and 12th of December, as the final seconds are on the clock, and finishing things off with a roughly 20-point lead, most likely 22 at least. Philippines are going to be securing the W. I don't think I can't think of a scenario where Indonesia can come back into this, right? It's impossible.
No, yeah, I would say yes. Yeah, well, nope, nothing that could happen.
Well, some of the players already are celebrating. 𝐸𝐷 is saying, "Hey guys, like someone needs to hold on to the ball."
Yeah. Someone needs to like move the controller a little bit,
Right.
inbound the
Give
ball.
it to the coach. Give it to the coach.
That and imagine, yeah.
Imagine losing because of it.
Yeah, I wasn't
Not
gonna
a
say.
player
I
on the
wasn't gonna
roster.
say. Hey, I wasn't gonna say it.
Well, there we go. We found a scenario, but it's not the case. Philippines, of course, in true professional style,
Was that the
will
coach
play
who
it
made
out
it?
till the
No.
very end. Social even manages to put up a three-pointer there, plus 25 for Philippines as final seconds on the clock. 𝐸𝐷 even is going to be stopped at the midcourt line. Eyes too fast for your eyes, as he steals the ball, gives it over to 𝐒𝐫𝐞 to take the final shot, and he makes that count as well. 𝐸𝐷, just a few seconds remaining, letting this one run down, and Indonesia recognized that it's not going to be an upset story this time around.